running, and we do thank you so much for being a part of the Select for Fun family, where you get everything entertainment as well as the current affairs. My name is Carol Tumwine. On all social media platforms, you will find me there, as well as our social media platforms where we will be streaming live this program. You can join the conversation as we are going to start our topics of the day. But before that, please do remember that it is another Tuesday, another chance for you to begin doing exactly what you've always wanted to do. Don't forget your dreams. Don't give them up for anything. Actually act as if what you do makes a difference, because when you do that, it actually will make a difference. Don't you forget your dreams anywhere, because if you don't chase them, then nobody else is going to chase them for you. Greetings to Musinguzi Gilbert. Thank you so much for watching the show. Greetings to Daisy Oomgasho. Thank you so much for watching the show. Greetings to Claire Chasimire. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first show this morning. Well, I'd like to start by telling you it's been a chilly morning. There's not been any rain, so you don't have an excuse of staying in the bed this morning. Get up and go chase your dreams. Get up and take some tea. Get up and do something that will energize you. Some of you like coffee. I don't like coffee. Instead, I love my juice cold. But if you love coffee, it's also fine, because the caffeine will wake you up and get you moving for the day. Please do not stay behind. Do not stay back. If yesterday was not a good day, I would like to remind you that today is a better day for you to go out there and see what you can add on to society and to yourself at large as well. We should remember, however, that if you like to change the world, you should go home and change yourself first. You will have done a very big step on towards changing the world for us. Of course, success is not final, failure is not fatal, so it is the courage to continue that counts. So if you fail today, please do not think that it is the end of the world. And also, if you gain your success today, do not think that it's also the end of the world, because some people tend to gain success and then think that it's the beginning of their lives, and they will be proud and throw wings up there, but it's not advisable, as things might happen here and there. So if you remain humble, if you remain on to your lane, you will never find any difficulties. That's how we move through life, because at the end of the day, all of us are headed to not the same destination exactly according to what you believe in, but all of us are headed to the future, the afterlife. How have you planned for it? I always tell you that 800 years from now, we will not be in existence. So if you have any grudge with anyone, please make sure that it ends right this day. Don't you go into the next day with a grudge about anyone, because it does not help you. It does not add to your bank account in any way. It does not add to your social status in any way. Instead, focus on the good things of life. I would like to read you some of the beautiful quotes that I love, beautiful quotes that I read every morning. And this is one of them. Never bend your head. Always hold it up high. Look to the world straight in the eye. So this means that you don't have to, be weak and heavy laden. Even when bad things happen to you, you can always look the world in the eye. This does not mean that you be proud, however. It doesn't mean that you become arrogant or self-seeking. It just means that you become confident enough to know that God placed you in this world for a purpose, and only you can achieve your God-given purpose. Moving on, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. I'm trying to read these things because reading is one of the things that expands our knowledge, it broadens our knowledge. And so don't be like, why is she Googling them? That's because they are available on Google. You also have a phone, you can go ahead and read these quotes. Even in the middle of the day, when you feel like things are not moving well, get your phone quickly, Google, start to read some of these inspirational quotes. You will be surprised at how much they will lift your soul up. I guess that's why our parents sent us to school, just to, be well conversant and open our minds up to things that we didn't know, to things that are above our understanding. However, don't forget to make that money, because we need the books, we also need the money. Mutakono tumwetaga naye. Believe you can, and you are halfway there. So you have dreams. Let's say you have a number of 5 goals in your life. If you believe that you already have those 5 goals, then you are halfway there. And the rest of the work is just to go about it and see how others have done it. Yesterday I was here telling you that under the sun, there is nothing new. Under the sun, there's nothing new. People make mistakes. People make it in life. Some don't. So there's nothing surprising. There's nothing new. Never fail to start, and never fear to start. Please always step out and start. And I will be here every morning to remind you that you can. To remind you that if I can, because for me, I'm a village girl from those ends down there. But if I can also come and start to talk to you, it means that you can also go out there and do everything you want. And somebody was telling me that if some of these people that stood for membership of parliament that we did not believe in actually took over office, then who are you not to go out there and start your business and become the best at it? You know, even if you're selling tomatoes, by the way, make sure your tomatoes are clean. Make sure you're the best tomato seller around your place. Make sure that where you sell your tomatoes from, you are the best tomato seller. I'm telling you, whether you sell socks, whether you sell shoes, it does not matter what you do. And not everybody is born to be an engineer. Not everybody is born to be a doctor. Not everybody is born to be on TV. Some people are anointed in camera. Some others are anointed in lighting. Some others content creation. We all can't be doctors, lawyers, but what you do, what you're good at, you can just sit there and dominate in your place of comfort. So don't look at your friend who made it in life by selling coffee, and you're like, okay, let me also do that and find my way up to the top like he did. That, of course, might not work out for you like it did for him. Yet, if you took your own path, what is your own path? Those things that keep you awake at night, feeling good. If you ever want to do anything and you love it, then that is exactly what you're meant to do. And don't you ever fear to do what you love, because from what you love comes the wealth that we are seeing people enjoying today. There's a big story about Bill Gates and Melinda divorcing. It's a very big story around the world, which we will get into shortly. But for now, I'm still giving you some of these quotes. These quotes are sweet. I love them so much. So no matter what you're going through, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Who does not know that? We've had this 1,000 times, but it's as true. It is as true today as it was 300 years back. That no matter what you're going through, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Guys, so long as you're not dead, as long as they've not said, okay, go and do no tomorrow we say food. If you are still alive, trust me, there is still a very, very, very big chance for you to make it in life, and to make it more than you have ever expected. More than you have ever expected. It is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task, which more than anything else will affect its successful outcome. You know these things, you know about attitude. Your attitude towards something is the only thing that will get you through that thing. So please do make sure that your attitude to everything is a very fine, especially when it comes to your headspace. I always make sure that I attack every morning with a blank mind. What happened yesterday will never bother me today. It happened yesterday, it is gone, and I let it go. So today is a new day, and I'm looking at new things. This is my attitude of every day, and it has worked out for me well, and I think it can work out for you as well. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. That's what I've been telling you, that if you stay home and stay back because maybe something bad happened yesterday, who knows how will you gauge your potential and say, okay, yesterday was bad, but what have I done today about it to make sure that I rise again and not stay back? Okay, just don't give up. Try to do what you really want to do, like I've been telling you, and then where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. Of course, the greatest thing on this world is love. Without love, a lot of things can go wrong. We've seen that in all the areas of our lives, be it political, be it entertainment, be it lifestyle, social, economic. If there is hatred, these are the things we are seeing happening here, because people cannot sit and work together. People cannot sit and talk to each other and just sit on a round table and solve issues, but instead choose to hate and hate and hate. Love is the healer of the world. Love will heal us much more than we can ever imagine. And I'd like to even let you know that, first of all, even God said that there is faith, there is hope, but the greatest of all the three is love. I'm sure you knew that from somewhere. Limit your always and your nevers. So don't you ever say never in this life. Don't be like, never, they went away. You know, I've noticed something about Ugandans, that if you have a bad habit, you know, you feel so proud in it, and you're like, ze nyomba nyo, ze went yo. Say what you woli. That's not how God made you to be. You just picked up the habit maybe from somewhere and you stuck to it, and maybe probably it's just it's the thing that's holding you back from your breakthrough. How about today you be like, no, okay, let me try and change here. Because if you don't change, change will change you. I think I learned that in primary, and you also went to primary school. I'm sure you learned that there. So never say never, and limit your always. Then, nothing is impossible. There's nothing new in these quotes, but I read them every day because, like I've told you, they lift my spirit. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing. Under the sun, there's nothing new, but under the sun also, nothing is impossible. So the word impossible itself says impossible. And then you are never too old to set another goal or dream in your life. Let's say, for example, you are a 40-year-old man and you didn't go to school very well. Maybe you have a diploma like myself. And then you are 40 years old. I'm not yet 40, but I'm imagining you're 40 years old and you're seeing life is not moving for you at all. And then you're like, okay, what do I do next? Let me say you've been a carpenter for all these years and you've not earned. Maybe that means that that's not where you're supposed to be, and you should go back to your heart, sit with yourself and say, what else can I do? What else do I love to do? And maybe venture into agriculture. Who knows? Like President Museveni said, you might be among the people who are going to employ the 70 billion people that are expecting these jobs, as he said that there's going to be a job creation of 70 billion in Uganda. But Uganda has a working capacity of 25 million people. So I'm wondering who is going to do these other jobs that will be lacking. We'll get into that and see how it's going. This time around, I'm still trying to give you inspirational quotes. Not to inspire you, but if you hear a quote that will lift your spirit, please feel free to write it down. Feel free to remember it through your day and let it take you through. So this is another one. Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Of course, you never know what your neighbor is going through. Maybe what this means, you can interpret it your own way. What I get from it is that try to be kind to your neighbor. You never ever know what somebody is going through, because let's say, for example, you work at a company, you work at a food restaurant, you work at a liquor store or whatever that is, and you have neighbors there. Do you know what they're going through at home? No idea. If they don't tell you, you will never know. So try to be kind to everybody, because you will never ever know what. And then your harsh words may even make the situation worse. Like I've told you, you don't know if their mom is sick. You don't know if their child was chased for school fees. You don't know if maybe the parliament refused to there's these people who are being chased out of their land every day. You don't know if the parliament refused to reinstate their money or something like that. You don't know what your neighbor is going through. So how about you be very kind to them? You never know. Actually, what if you are not kind to them and then they are your future boss? You see how you kuswala? Now, this doesn't mean that you treat your boss kind and then you treat the janitor or the person who cleans in a very terrible way. That, of course, speaks a lot about your character. If you can treat a person above you with respect, and then the person who cleans you just treat like rubbish, it says a lot about you, and you can still change that today, because no one has the power to judge you, you know? No one has the power to judge you. Jesus or God or whoever you believe in left the power to himself, and he directed us blatantly never to judge anyone. I never judge. I hope you learn from that. Inspiration comes from within yourself. One has to be positive. When you're positive, good things happen. In Uganda, I face a lot of, a big challenge. Myself as Carol Tumine, I face a lot of negativity. You know, like when I'm talking to someone and I'm like, by the way, today I don't have lunch. Then the person is like, Wanagwe, I'm also broke. You know, and so there's no positivity around, and with time, I first faced it at school, and with time I also started to use this word. I'm like, yeah, I'm also broke. The more you use the word I am broke, trust me, the more you go broke. So don't you ever think that it's a nice thing for you to go around saying, I'm broke. No. Just say, today I don't have, see now, at least that one. Or you say, today I don't have money, but I'm broke. You're going to really be now broke. I use the word, I'm not saying I'm so perfect. Sometimes I find myself using it, but I'm learning every day to say, I'm not going to use the word I'm broke. Because the more you use it, the more you become broke. And what else do we need? Yeah, I need money. I don't know about you, but I need money. So anything that's going to make me not have money, I try to avoid. If I know that the word being broke, what you say, you are what you say. I'm sure you've heard that quote somewhere. I've read it somewhere. Not here, but I remember reading it somewhere. You are what you say to yourself. The power of the tongue is very powerful, if that English makes sense. Yeah, so make sure that what you say is very, very, very... Be careful about what you say about yourself especially. What you say about others also matters, but for me, if what you say about me really might not affect me as much as what I say about myself, yeah? So watch your words, especially to yourself. The word I'm broke is so bad, especially to us Ugandans who need money. I've told you I need money. I think you also do. Yeah, I'll move on to the next one. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. I would like to... I'm sweating, I don't know why. Yeah, I'd like to relate this to Melinda and Bill Gates, who are about to get a divorce. These guys have been together for more than 30 years. What can separate a couple after 30 years of being together? Because let's give a limit of 10 years. If I'm with you for 10 years, it means I've seen your bad side, I've seen your bad side, I've seen your bad side, I've seen your... I'm not even going to say I've seen your good side, because that one I may see it like... let's say from 1 to 2 years of dating, I'll know who you are on the good side. But 10 years, I will have seen your bad side to the extent that I'm like, okay, this is just my husband, let me just believe. But what is making Melinda Gates and Bill Gates separate after over 30 years in marriage? We'll get into that, but I really do hope they solve their differences, because this is one of the biggest couples in the rich world, the people who are rich. Those are the role models of people who are rich. So I wonder what happens. But sometimes you never know the value of a moment until it's gone. I hope they don't regret it after separation, because usually you have someone and you're taking them for granted. You're like, this one loves me, sure. And then they leave you and you're like, so this person can leave me. I'm sure we've all been there. Me, I've been heartbroken, and that time I almost killed myself. And I was still very, very young. And from that time I was like, never. So I hope Melinda and Bill work out their stuff, and also you, I hope that the person that you treasure the most, you keep remembering why you treasure them, you keep remembering why you got together in the first place, because we tend to forget these things. We tend to, what is it called? We tend to forget where we came from. Not even only what? Only lovers. Our parents, for example, we tend to forget and be like, I'll call her tomorrow. Talking about my mom. I'll call her tomorrow. I'll call her the next day. Even the next day you don't call. And then one day you'll receive the most terrible news in the world. I don't even want to think about that part. But if you still love your parents, I don't know how to emphasize this. Love them. Love them like you've never loved anything before. Before they give you bad news and you start wishing that... Yeah, that's Melinda and Bill Gates on our screen. And as you can see, they look so happy in the picture. But the sad news is that they are divorcing. I'm sure that these two know a lot about each other, secrets about each other. Like I've said, they've been together for more than 30 years. And if you look at their life story, they're people of technology. Technology right now has money. Like it's one of those backbones of, if you want to get rich, try and look at technology. If it's your niche, if it's not your niche, don't try. But if you have, for example, if you studied those things of IT, computer science, telecom engineering, those things, think about going and venturing into them, being a saint, yeah? Now, Kati, these people are breaking up after years of building something together that has, because they are the owners of Windows, that they have money. So I'm wondering, by me, if we are ever together, yeah, like Melinda and Bill have been, and then we make money and make it in life, I am not leaving. I'm not leaving my money behind for some other girl, for some other slayer, top slayer in town to come and surprise me. No, I will not leave. So if I'm but Melinda is not African. These things happen in Africa where the woman is like, yeah, I will not go anywhere. So if I was the one, I would tell Bill, you know what, we have money. Stecho, yeah, let's let's divide the house. I'll take a room the other side and you'll take a room the other, but I am not going back home. And for me, even my mom made it worse. She told me that day you get married, don't you ever think of coming back here. Of course, my dad was like, leave the girl. But my mom told me, I'm wondering, is Melinda going back to her parents? By the way, if we think about this, because I'm sure as a lady, she came into the marriage, they made money. I'm sure she's built her home back where she is. If she has not, I hope she has set a stable, a stable base. Because if she's going back to her parents' home, but she can't go back to her parents' home. She's a bit old. So I'm thinking she's going to become single again. Wow, it's going to be surprising. Anyways, let's look at the details of this story because they first met in the 1980s when Melinda joined Bill's Microsoft firm. Hey, they were working together. Please don't you despise the people you work with because your future might be your future husband, as in me and my friends usually call them future. Like, hey, oh, your future. So your future might be at your workplace. We've seen our colleagues in the business of media, Raymond Mujuni, Kanyarita, and Kanare Mugume and Sasha Ferguson, making it official, making things official, and making me believe in marrying a journalist, man. My father kept telling me, I told you guys, both my parents are journalists, and they kept telling me, mu journalism, temuli sente, so I go and study what? But I was like, me, I'm following my passion. And the more they said Temuli Sente, the more I was like, let me see. Let me try for myself and see. And here I am now. I'm thinking these people are getting married. They are both journalists and they are getting married. And I'm kind of inspired. For me, very little things inspire me. And I'm always, always inspired. Every day I try to find something that inspires me. I never go a day without finding something that will lift my spirit. So kudos to the journalists. Banai Oluzungu is not our mother tongue. Yeah, so kudos to the journalists that are making it official. But Melinda and Bill met in the 1980s when Melinda joined Bill's Microsoft firm. But Bill was the boss. That's okay. Bill was the boss, so he had money. I'm thinking. Because these days, girls, like if you have money, it's an advantage. If you're a guy and you're out there, if you have money, it's a very big advantage to you to get the girls that you want. Okay, the billionaire couple have 3 children. Oh God, you guys, the very devastating part of the divorce is the children. Because now, the children, bakuze walaba mommy and daddy. Tebamanyi bizibu bibatawanya, but they see you hug, or probably if you don't hug, they see you welcome your husband and give him food, and they are used to the family setting. Now, if you break these little ones' hearts, before you get married, please make sure that the person you're with is the person you want to look at for the next, you guys, for the next 90 years, is the person you want to look at every morning you wake up. As in, I think that's why they say that mumalane mfuka ba Uganda, yeah? You become sister and brother after getting married for a long time. You even start to look alike. As you can see on our screens, these guys look alike. Am I mistaken? Or I'm seeing badly? I swear, I think they look alike. Height, the smile, the blue eyes. You get? I swear, they look alike. So, as you choose a person, please make sure that the person you've chosen is the person you want to stay with the rest of your life. I swear, you guys, me, I don't know how I'm going to choose my husband because I don't know how I'm going to surprise myself and say this is the man I want to look at for the next 90 years of my life. I think that's why there is grace. I need the grace for that one. Well, the organization has spent billions fighting causes such as infectious. Producer, please feel free to put the Melinda Gates to Balabeko because we are dealing with their stories. Yeah, so the organization has spent billions fighting causes such as infectious diseases, encouraging vaccinations in children, and of course, but you guys, let me first ask this question. Bill Gates is one of the people who is against overpopulation in the world at large. He wants to reduce populations. How come he's at the center of fighting infectious diseases? He's at the center of vaccinating us. He's at the center of making sure that we receive food from the World Health, vaccines and, okay, even food from the World Health Organization. Something doesn't add up there, but today it's such a divorce. So let me focus. Yeah, so the Gates, along with investor Warren Buffett, behind the Giving Pledge, which calls on billionaires to commit to giving away the majority of their wealth to good cause. Bill Gates is the 4th wealthiest person in the world. You guys, first wait. Do you know that in your family there's that person who is rich, who you're like, okay, our uncle is rich or our auntie is rich, and they went to school and or they didn't even go to school and they probably have money, and you're looking up to them because they're splashing a sente, probably buying a motoke waka, you know, and you're proud of them. I think have an auntie like that who is like the back. You guys, the chick is the backbone of the family. The rest of us, God needs to come in and help. But imagine Bill Gates is the 4th richest person in the world, meaning your aunt, your uncle may not be that rich. Not even in Uganda, but you know they are there and they are spending money and you guys are okay. Now imagine the 4th richest person in the world. You guys, I think his whole family is rich, because if I was the 4th richest person in the world, everyone around me would be rich. I hope he's not mean, because the mean people are the ones who become rich. The givers, but yeah, anyway, moving on. He's the 4th richest person in the world, and according to Forbes, and he's worth $124 billion, which is 890 billion euros. You guys, in my life, I've never seen an amount more than, let me say, have I ever seen 10 million in cash? Maybe. And I saw it like, it was a surprise for me in that so I can imagine 124 billion US dollars. How does this money look like? Like, how can you have this money? I can wake up dead, I swear. But yeah, he made his money through the firm he co-founded in the 1970s, Microsoft, the world's biggest software company. I think the fact that technology is growing faster and faster every single day, it has a lot of money. But the business is competitive. I've been telling you here to join the business, but don't come for me and say, Carol, you told us, and now things are not working out. It is competitive, so your marketing has to be very good. You have to be strong on ground in order to make it in Mufildia and Melinda and Bill Gates. But I wonder why. Bill Gates is the only person who brought, because if even the Apple guy, the owner of the Apple stores, also started, and these guys, by the way, if you go read about them, you'll realize that all of them started in garages. Like Barina Enyumba, then they decided to use the garage of the house as an office, as a company, as an office and whatever. So if you are out there and you have a house and there's some space in the house, please don't you ever fear to start something in your backyard. It can be farming, because in Uganda, they've told us agriculture is the backbone of the economy. And everything they tell us, we believe. So if you believe that, go get some chicken, start rearing them. Get some, I was going to say turkeys, but I fear them so much. So if you don't fear them, get them, start rearing them. And we are farming, as we shall see as we continue. So the pair both posted the statement announcing their divorce on Twitter. Is this a move? If they were musicians, if they were like Ugandan musicians, I would have said this is a stunt to make us like maybe their new hit song, which is not going to even hit anyway. Because most of these songs that have had stunts, they've never hit. Instead, the ones that we don't expect to hit are the ones that surprise us. So, but these are not musicians. So they posted on their Twitter. This is what they posted, and I quote, "Over the last 27 years, we have raised 3 incredible children." Okay, they started with the children point. "And built a foundation that works all over the world to enable all people to lead healthy, productive lives. We continue to share a belief in that mission and will continue our work together as the foundation, but we no longer believe we can grow together as a couple in the next phase of our lives. We ask for space and privacy for our family as we begin to navigate this new life." And I didn't read this piece before coming on air. So now I'm also being as shocked as you are right now at home. And I'm like, wait, these guys actually, there's no room for working it out. They've really decided. They're like, you know what? The fact that they began with children means maybe, they are trying to work it out and see who takes which child, who remains with the other child and stuff like that. And so that's how their Twitter story ran. How did they get together? Well, that's a story you can go read for yourself. Make sure you find it on the internet and go through it. We wish them the best. We wish they can share that money in half. Bill Gates takes half. Even if it's Bill Gates who made the money, we don't care. Melinda, make sure you take half of that money, girl. Yep. Moving on to my next story today. You guys, first way, before I move on to my next story, Museveni accusing NUP for being a party of school dropouts will be my topic of discussion. So be commenting, be thinking of what you're going to tell me, because we are going to have phone calls that will come our way. Okay, so MPs have ignored Museveni's vote and gone ahead to increase their tax allowances and, their allowance to travel around the world, and now by 20 billion shillings. And now it is 420 billion shillings. Before it was 400 billion shillings. As in this is the money that these guys use to go out of the country. Foreign allowance, just the money that they use when they spend when they go out of the money, or when they go out of the country, sorry. Chembuza, 420 billion shillings. What does this money do when you guys go out? Do you buy streets? Do you buy cars out there? Like, you guys, this is a lot of money. This is, to me, a layman who maybe doesn't know these things. But let me break down the story for you. So Parliament has increased travel and allowance budget for its members and staff by 20 billion shillings. It was previously 420 billion shillings, like I've told you, in an era of subdued cross-border trips due to pandemic-related restrictions and corresponding haptic and virtual meetings. So, details of the planned increase, of course, in the foreign expenditure on the 11th Parliament. Producer, if we can get pics of the 11th Parliament. Now, I need you to remember that parliamentarians have increased by 100. So we're going to have 100 new members of Parliament. And I think maybe this is the biggest reason why they've increased this money. But still, let's take a look at traveling. In general, let's take a look at Uganda. If you were traveling, say, to Kabale for, even if it was a workshop, you're going to meet some people, probably it's business. Let's look at accommodation. If you are a member of Parliament and you don't want to sleep in Toninyida, probably you're a classy person and you don't want to kuswala, you will get a room that is not more than 200,000 shillings. That's a good room. It has hot water, I imagine it has Wi-Fi and all these other things you would like to do. And of course the beddings are warm and there's some breakfast. 200,000 shillings plus maybe lunch allowance of, we'll also give you 200,000 shillings for the benefit of the doubt. And then travel allowance, let's say fuel and all that, which totals to about 1 million shillings. That's understandable, but 420 billion shillings, maybe if they divide it into all these members of Parliament, it will make sense to me. But right now, with the public debt that we still have, because I was going to discuss public debt recently with someone, and I think I'm going to re-invite them, and we discuss this public debt thing, because Uganda is in debt to the extent that, I'm sure some of you have seen this screenshot moving around, to the extent that buli omu mu Uganda bamubanja kamu kitundu. Akakadde buli omu Uganda bamubanja kamu kitundu. So bwoba kayina genda okasasule nga tebannakubanja, like for real. But the public debt is that bad, you guys. The public debt is that bad. And as we near swearing in of the President Museveni, Yoweri Kaguta, I hope that this is in plans of government. I hope that they are trying their best to see how they combat this very bad situation, because it's very bad for a country like Uganda to be in debt, yet we are trying to develop ourselves. You see that? It's very bad for us to, to almost be as if close to making it, and then we have things like the public debt putting us behind. Well, let me give you some more details about the story. So, questions about the rising spending on a bloated government has on one hand opened the ruling National Resistance Movement Party to criticism by civil society and opposition politicians, and on the other hand, created internal friction between different government branches. Of course, President Museveni was against this money being increased from 400 billion shillings to 420 billion shillings. But he was ignored, and they went ahead to pass it. So, members of the 10th Parliament, among them being Opposition Chief Whip Ibrahim Ssemujju have previously pushed back against the executive, accusing it of playing double standards and humongering public resources through unending supplementary budget requests, some of which are submitted for retrospective approval. Now, Ibrahim Ssemujju pushing back against the executive. Of course, he has been in opposition for a very long time, and this one I'd like to side with him unless they come out and really give us exactly what it is that they are planning to do with this money. If they come out and say, okay, accountability, here we go, every MP is going to be using a minimum of maybe 5 million shillings every time they travel, and this is why we needed 420 billion shillings, which would have been put in, for example, the oil refinery. Yeah, we would have used that money in the oil refinery to make sure that most of the of the profits do not go to Tanzania as a country. But that is where we still stand, and by the end of last year, of course, MPs had spent 207 billion Ugandan shillings. I think I should think about becoming a member of parliament, because chirabika birimu kukasente. Atenga we nabagambye in the beginning, we are all looking for the money. About half of the items allocation in the ending financial year's budget, partly because they were largely marooned in Uganda after countries shut down for the COVID-19 spread. Now, the newly elected MPs are scheduled to be sworn in on May 17th to May 19th, after which they will elect a speaker and a deputy speaker who, working with party leaders, will assign members to constitute the different houses and committees before commencing formal business. Of course, we are getting to our usually half year where most of the things happen in the parliament. And this time around it's different because we have just concluded elections in January, and of course we are going to be bringing you live here at Select for Fun. We're going to be bringing you live everything that happens in the swearing in of these MPs, as well as our new president. We said he's a new president. We are not going to focus on what he did before, the terms that he had before. No. He's a new president, and he must be coming in with new ideas for us. Well, more details on per diems. If you go to, okay, let me tell you my source today, the Daily Monitor. If you go to the Daily Monitor, you will read through that story. They've broken it down. They've broken down the details of the per diem trips. Seeing MP per night abroad, they spend 2.6 million shillings. Speaker per night, 4.5 million shillings. Kwegamba ranka zichuka. If your boss is going out, they won't spend the same money as you, a junior who is stepping out of the country. Parliamentary staff is 1.9 million. Parliamentary staff is which one? The people that bring tea, the janitors, or the secretaries. Because if they are given 1.9 million Ugandan shillings per night, I think it's a good deal. Travel and transport air tickets go to 34.4 billion. Wow. Travel abroad, African parliaments, 1.1 billion. Travel abroad, House of Commons, I don't know what that is. House of Commons, I think, is the support staff, because not only members of parliament work in the parliament, but also people that support them. Just like you at your company, not only people that are essential work there, you also have the support staff. So that's 1 billion Ugandan shillings. Travel abroad for Interparliamentary Union, they refuse to disclose that one. Travel abroad for the European Parliament is also undisclosed. Workshops and seminars, those ones are 2.1 billion, and then benchmarking is also unspecified. If you're traveling abroad for benchmarking, it's unspecified. I think because you cannot, it's also like the medical tourism, which is unspecified because you cannot know what is in the medical world until it happens. Just like we're not ready for the COVID-19 and then we got surprised after life took a new twist. Well, this is the part I wanted to get to. What can 420 billion shillings do? Producer, if you can get us any pick, even if it's one, of the oil anything oil that has been going on in Uganda. It will help us so much. But in the new parliamentary budget, the commission chaired by the Speaker, Rebecca Kadaga, has allocated billions of shillings for members to travel abroad and inland. And but the 420 billion budget for foreign MPs' allowances could be used to increase salaries for senior lecturers and other low-level academic at all public universities. Why are we starting with universities? Whoever wrote this piece, I'm in agreement with you, but why did we start with the universities? Why can't this money first be used to improve the primary school teachers' salaries? Because you see, primary school is an essential because you first go to primary before you get to senior secondary school, you see? This money could have been used for the oil refinery. Right now we have very many petrol stations coming up. But how about refining this oil? As you can see on my screen right now, oil is a sector that still it's a very fragile sector right now. It still needs a lot of money for it to start, because if we put this 420 billion shillings in the oil sector, we will be able to develop ourselves as a country and also, you know, start earning from the oil. Now, the money that we earn from the oil, because if you look at the countries like the Middle East countries, yeah, the Pakistanis, the Omans, and the whatever, they made their name from oil. They made their wealth from oil. Dubai, if we can see pictures of Dubai in the 1980s, and Uganda in the 1980s. These guys were the same. No buildings, nothing. But now if you go to Dubai, it's one of the most tourist-wanted destinations because they've built their name. How? Oil was a big factor for all these guys. So if oil can come in, Uganda has the potential to be a first world country, not just second class. No, we have the potential to be a first world country where we are. All these things will be sorted. The minimum wage bill will be nothing. The smile, you're struggling with poverty. Your mother in the village is struggling. It will be history. If only we calculate right and say this money goes to the right fields. Because now, if you leave an oil sector for just the private sector, because now I've told you that recently I was traveling to Bara and I saw over 17 petrol stations new. First, forget the Shell and Total. Shell and Total, I need my money for the Kalango because I've mentioned your name. So, first forget those two big brands. All these other new brands you're seeing, I'm sure you've seen very many new businesses to do with the oil, where and today somebody gets land and tomorrow you find a petrol station erected and it's there. That's private sector because they are privately owned. So that means the oil is still going to go to the private people. It's going to go to individuals. Individuals, we're going to find oil more than us, the layman's, or every Ugandan. And it's unfair because I believe the oil is for all of us. Like I told you yesterday, it is your right as a Ugandan to find out exactly how the money is being spent, to ask for accountability. Don't just go attend the national budget on air, listen, okay, they've said, okay, how much is going to the public, to the finance sector? This much. Okay, how much is going to the medical sector? This much. Oh, okay, they've read the budget. And you go home, you are supposed to look as a Ugandan and be like, okay, we demand. Ugandans are so good at doing these social media videos. Many of you have YouTube channels. We use that platform and demand or ask for accountability for this money. So, this is where some of this money is expected to go. Of course, for years, the non-academic staff have been demanding 91.3 billion shillings for salary. That's non-academic staff. How about the academic staff that are teaching? How about the people who are teaching secondary school? Before you get to the universities, before you get to paying people people that are making sure that they are teaching students at university. How about the people that are teaching high school? They are still earning 400,000 shillings? Who are here in the first show looking at those details. Another sector that needs to be pulled up in the area of salaries is the police. Because they are enforcing law and order, but instead, because they don't have where to get this money, is where you're finding that they are having these challenges of asking for money from people. What should they do? We also don't know. And I think I've stopped blaming them because recently I was talking to some friend of mine and he told me the father in police earns, I won't say it, but earns very little money. So there are 5 children at home. And I'm thinking, okay, you're earning, let's say, this is not what they earn, I'm just giving an example. I'll give an estimation that is close to what they earn. So 350,000. 5 children, for her she's in senior 4, and the brothers are still young, meaning he has to put them through school. Now, if you meet such a person on the road, and maybe you've drunk just 1 glass of wine, you're not even drunk, but the fact that they can put that kaunyam machine in your mouth and it detects any kind of alcohol, you'll have to leave him with some money because he also needs it for his children. These are some of the sectors that need to be improved when it comes to salary. Police, think about these people. And then also, okay, there are very many sectors, but for now, schools and police. I am going to take a very short break and return with more stories. Don't go away, but keep on our social media platforms, STV Uganda, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. My name is Carol Tumwine. See you in a bit.